शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः।
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्. So we are continuing discussion. I think you may remember last time we stopped Trayānam Vishwadīnam Purva Purva Vilapanena Turiyasya Pradipattihi Idi Karana Sadhana Padashabdaha Turiyasya tu Padyate Idi Karma Sadhana Padashabdaha. I hope it's clear. You can always ask questions if something is not of Padhatu. One is Karanartha for Vishwa, Taijasa and Prajna, and Karmartha for Turiya. Turiya is something that we attain, and we attain the Turiya state through the instruments of Vishwa, Taijasa and Prajna. So we'll find out in the course of time. Katham Chadushpadvam Ityaha. Now, how do you establish that this has got 4 different quarters? That is being explained. So the first mantra, Jagridasthano Bahiprajna Saptanga Ekonavimshati Mukha Sthula Bhuk Vaishwanaraka Prathama Padaka. So this is the third mantra, Jagridasthanaka, where the location is waking state, Bhishprajna, where prajna is oriented towards external objects, Saptanga, 7 angas, all will be explained in the Bhashya. Ekana Vimshati Mukhaka, 19 dwaras, 19 Uparabdhi dwaras, means 19 openings to the external world through which perception and action are made possible. And then Sthula Bhuk, experiencing, enjoying external objects at the gross level. Vaishwanara, it's called Vaishwanara, Prathama Padaka. Now the Bhashya. Jagaridam sthanam asya iti jagarida sthanaka. So Jagaridam here means is a state of being awake. That is Jagarida. Jagaridam, which means. So Vaishwanara is explained here. Now before proceeding further, I shall give you a brief idea. Vishwa and Vaishwanara. Vishwa is Samashti. Sorry, there's a contrary. Vishwa implies Vyashti, that is Jiva, which is Parichinna, which is limited in its scope. That is the individual, the microcosm. That is Vishwa. So this is to be understood. Vishwa is the Jiva that experiences various things in waking state. It can roughly be called microcosm, the miniature form. Vyashti, it is the Jiva, Parichinna Jiva. It is limited, and sometimes you find the other books which say Alpajna, Parichinna, not Satya Sankalpa, and so on. It is limited in many ways, Vishwa. And the Samashti dimension of Vishwa is called Vaishwanara. It is Vyashti. Sorry, the Vaishwanara is Samashti. It is Samasta Sharira. So please remember the samashti dimension of Vishwa, the macro dimension of Vishwa, the macrocosm is Vaishwanara. And the microcosm, the miniature form, the individual dimension is Vishwa. Now when we use the word Vaishwanara is the samashti dimension of Vishwa, it doesn't mean that it is a numerical totality. So, for example, let us say there are 8 billion people in the world. So you say 8 billion Vishwas, 8 billion Jivas, 8 billion Vyashtis, which are Parichinna, limited. So all together can be called Samashti. No. It is not the numerical totality of Vyashti. Samashti is not the numerical totality, but what it means is essential. I mean the same reality, the same prajna, the same bodha, which is present in Vyashti, in Jiva, is present in the cosmic universal dimension as universal self. So soon Bhashyakara will describe, we give an explanation of Vaishwanara Vidya. Vaishwanara means the universal cosmic entity, cosmic self. So Vaishwanara is the samashti, samasta sharira means. And the same reality, the same prajna which is present in Vishwa is present at the cosmic dimension in the samashti dimension. So now we will clear. So Jagaridam sthanam asyidi Jagarida sthanaka. So here Vishwa is being explained. This Vishwa is awake and its sthanam. So sthana and Jagarida sthanam should be understood. Jagaridam here should be understood as Aham Bodha. That is Bhashya's interpretation of Jagaridam sthanam is Aham Bodha. Means that Vishwa is awake in the waking state towards all external objects and experiences all external objects in the Sthula dimension. Because Sthula dimension means when you are in waking state as an individual entity, you use your mind and indriyas to connect with the external world. So where indriyas are also involved, where the senses of perception and senses of action are also involved, it becomes sthula. When mind alone is involved, it becomes sukshma as in Swapna state. So the Bhashyakara is going to mention one very important point. It's a subtle point, but it means is Vyashti and Samashti. There is a connection between these two, Vyashti and Samashti. The Vyashti is the Adhyalmika dimension, the individual dimension, the Parichinna dimension. The limited dimension is Alpmakya dimension. And Samashti is Sarvajna. Samashti is Samasta Sharira. And Samashti is all pervading. It's called Vaishwanara. Though there is a connection, the connection is not in terms of the whole Vishwas constituting Vaishwanara, the whole Vyashtis constituting Samashti, but rather there is a connection. The connection is that the same prajna, the same awareness, the same bodha is present in Vyashti and Samashti. So it's called prajna bodha. A Purvapakshin will ask this question later in the later bhashyas it comes, so that it becomes clear. And so Jagaridam here means Aham Bodha, Abhimana. In waking state, our Bodha is towards external objects and we connect and experience and enjoy things at the external level. That's called Bahishprajna. Bahishprajna means Prapancha Bodha, it means. Prapancha means the external phenomenal world. So, in waking state, the jiva has got Prapancha Bodha, and it identifies itself as the enjoyer, as the karta and bhokta, in connection with external, visible, sthula, prapancha. Swatma Vedirikte Vishaya, Swatma Vedirikte Vishaye Prajnayasya. That is a definition of Bahishprajna. Swatma Vedirikte Vishaye. So at that stage, in waking state, the jiva is prajna, is awareness, is abhimana, is not in its own true nature, but in the external nature. Sa bahishprajna, bahir vishaya iva. So you can see the bhashya here. So bahishprajna is defined swatma vetirikte. It means there is no atma bodha in bahishprajna state, in waking state. Prapancha bodha is there. And the Prapancha bodha is swatma vedirikta, means its awareness is not of its own atman, but the external bahya prapancha, external world. So the prajna is the external world. Saha bahishprajna, the definition. Bahir vishaya iva prajna. Bahir vishaya iva, that should be understood. It is not that Bahir vishaya really exists. That's why iva is mentioned here. That should be said iva. Bahir vishaya iva. That means Atma Bodha is not there. Prapancha Bodha is there. But that Prapancha actually does not exist independent of its Manaspandana. The Prapancha has no real entity in the external world other than its own Manaspanda. So that is implied by the word Iva. So you can see, it means everything is Manaspandanam. So that is an important point to remember. In Vedanta, this Manaspanda means the vibration, the mind identifying itself with the external world, and then it believes wrongly that the external world as an independent entity exists outside of himself. Vedanta tells that external world is nothing but an expression of your Manaspandana. It has no existence other than the existence connected to Manaspandana, mental vibration. But we wrongly imagine, because we don't have Atma Bodha in waking state, we wrongly imagine that there is a subject-object separation. So, Bahya Prapancha really exists. In reality, only Jagaridam or Manaspantanam is the only existence. But we wrongly imagine that the external world exists, because the external world really doesn't exist independent of Manaspandana. To emphasize the point, the Bhashyakara used the word Vishaya Iva. Bahir Vishaya Iva. Iva as if Bahir Vishaya exists, as if things exist outside of itself. Because the moment you accept the reality of an external world existing outside of your own Manaspandana, then it becomes Dvaita. So you should remember one important thing. In the Bhashya literature, we often find we will have to refer to Dvaita. This Dvaita does not really refer to Madhva Siddhanta or Madhva Siddhanta or Dvaita Siddhanta. It refers to Sankhya. Sankhyas believe in two fundamental categories, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha as good Chaitanya, Prakriti is Jada, and from the Jada Prakriti, the entire creation evolves, like Mahatattva, then Ahangara becomes three: Sattvika Ahangara, Tamasika Ahangara, and Rajasika Ahangara. And from these three different types of Ahangaras, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Mana, all these evolve, and Pancha Tanmatras come from them, and from Pancha Tanmatra, the Pancha Mahabhutas, and Pancha Mahabhutas constitute entire Dvaita Prapancha. So whenever we use the word Dvaita Siddhanta, Dvaita Prapancha in the Bhashya context, you should understand Bhashyakara is not referring to the philosophy of Madhva, because Madhva was born 300 years after Shankaracharya passed away. So that you should remember. There is no Dvaita Siddhanta in Shankaracharya's time. Dvaita was there. That was the Dvaita related to Sankhya philosophy. And Sankhya system is extremely dualistic. So, first of all, two fundamental categories, then that is Purusha and Prakriti is Jada. From Jada Prakriti, the entire creation evolves right up to the grossest physical phenomenal world is called this Panchamahabhuta Prapancha. So often whenever there is a strong, there is an effort to emphasize the mithyatvam of Dvaita Prapancha, it is only to guard a possible misunderstanding. That's why so you find here the word Bahir Vishaya plus Iva. Bahir Vishayeva. That means actually only Manaspandana exists, and because of this Manaspandana, we believe wrongly that there are different manifold entities outside, and we exist independently. This kind of wrong notions could emerge, and they are only due to buddhivritti, and they do not have any real entity outside of Manaspandana. If you got any doubt, even during the class, you can raise, because some of these ideas could be new. You are most welcome to ask questions also during the class if you want. So Bahir Vishaya Iva Prajna. Now how does this emerge? Yasya Avidya Krudavad Avabhasati. So it is Avidya Kruda. Avidya Kruda means. So why this Bhakya Prapancha, Dvaita Prapancha exist? It's only because of Avidya Kruda. Because there is no Atma Jnanam. That's why Swatma Vedirikte Vishaye Prajna, Bahish Prajna. Bahish Prajna itself is Swatma Vedirikte Vishaya Prajna Yasya Sakha. His Prajna is awareness. His focus is on external things, which is distinct and different from one's own true nature, Atman. So, Swatma Vedirikte Vishaye Prajna Yasya, that is Bahish Prajna. Saha Bahish Prajna, Bahir Vishaya Iva Prajna. Wrongly imagine, because there is no Atma Bodha, we wrongly imagine that Bhakya Prapancha really exists. It is only Manaspanda. It is only, very often, Sankalpa is used you find in the Yoga Vasishtha and all that. Sankalpa creates external world. Sankalpa is used in the context of creating the external world. In those works, Sankalpa means Manaspanda. It is not think, it is not thought. See, we think something and immediately something comes into existence. It doesn't happen like that. If you just have a Sankalpa, a straight thought, book, immediately book doesn't exist. Book doesn't come into existence. If you just have a Sankalpa, let's say a house, a house doesn't come into existence. It doesn't happen like that. That kind of straight thoughts do not create external entities. That is the normal meaning of the word sankalpa in normal language. But in Vedanta, if the word sankalpa is used as creating external world, in those contexts, sankalpa means manaspanda and not stray thoughts. So that's the thing. So Bhashyakara says only manaspanda creates the external world, and that is only buddhi vritti. And that makes us believe that this external Dvaita Prapancha exists outside of ourselves. It has got a real entity. That is because there is no Atma Bodha. That's why Swapna Vidirikte Vishaye Prajna. And what is the reason? Yasya avidya kruta avabhasati. It is due to avidya, subject, object distinction and all the Dvaita experiences because of avidya. Tatha sapta angani asya. Now sapta angani, that will be that we explained here, Murdha, Hridaya, Prana, Chakshu, all will be explained in the Bhashya comes. Tasya hava edasyatmano vaishwanarasya murdhaiva sudejas chakshur vishyarupa prana pradagvatmatma sandehu bahulo vastireva rayi prithiveva padu iti agnihotra kalpana sheshatvena agnirmukhatvena ahavaneya ukta ityevam saptangani yasya sa saptangaha. So here is a direct reference to Vaishwanara Vidya that is explained in the Chandogya Upanishad in the 5th chapter. There's that is an important subject discussed in this particular Bhashya, and also the Chandogya Upanishad. It's called Vaishwanara Vidya. Vaishya Vidya here means Upasana. So you find Sadvidya, Prana Vidya, Chandilya Vidya, Vaishwanara Vidya, Bhuma Vidya, and all these Vidyas are explained in the Upanishadic literature. So what is Vaishwanara Vidya? I shall try to explain, then go to the mantra and try to explain the mantra from Chandogya. So as I mentioned, Vaishwanara Vidya is one of the Vidyas. There are total 108 Vidyas explained in the entire Disha Upanishad. About 36 are very important. Vidya means Upasana. So it is a combination of Dhyana and Karma Yoga. You do your duties, your rituals, all Vaidika karmas you do with a sense of dedication. At the same time, you also meditate, a particular kind of meditation. Vaishwanara Vidya is meditating on Vaishwanara. Now, the story goes like this. In the Chandogya Upanishad you find once some sages, great Vedic scholars and sages, they were discussing among themselves, how do we meditate on Atman? How to meditate upon Atman? This discussion was going on. Eventually they decided to go to Aruni. Indradyumna, Budila, Jana, and you find about a number of these sages, Prachina Shala, Satya Yajna, these some of the sages, they were meditating. So they went to Aruni, and Aruni told them that he did not know this Vaishwanara Vidya. He did not know the correct answer to this question, to the discussion. Eventually they went to a king, Ashwapati. Ashwapati was the son of the king of Kekaya. He was also a great saint. So these sages went to Ashwapati's palace, and Ashwapati thought they were coming for gifts. But when they told him that they are not there to get any material gifts, they are there only to learn Vaishwanara Vidya, how to meditate. Then the king Ashwati asked them, you wait one more day, tomorrow you come. And next day they came. So he directly instructed them. The instruction follows like this. He asked one after another, Indradibna, Budila, this Prachinashala, Satyajna, Jena, all this. He asked them one after another, whom do you meditate upon? What do you meditate? So they gave their own answer. One of them said, well, I meditate upon Durloka, that is the celestial transcendental world. You can call it heaven or Surga, roughly speaking. Though Durloka is different from Surga. Another person said, I meditate upon Akasha. And another one said, well, I meditate upon Prithvi. Another one said, I meditate upon Apaha. Like that, they gave answers. Each of them was meditating upon one entity to the exclusion of the rest of creation. So Ashwati corrected them. It is not the way to meditate. You have to meditate upon the whole thing as one entity, one cosmic universal self. Then only you will get full benefit of this meditation. And that kind of meditative process is called Vaishwanara Vidya, which is explained in the Brahma Sutra. It comes as part of important discussion, and also in the Chandogya Upanishad. So if you are interested, you can read later, but the Chandogya Upanishad text I can refer to. Tasya hava edasyatmano Vaishwanarasya murdhaiva sudeja chakshur vishwarupaha. So sudeja means Durloka, chakshur vishwarupa, chakshur vishwarupa. So of this cosmic universal self, Murdha is, the top portion is Durloka. Chakshu Vishwarupa. The eyes is Surya Vishwarupa. Prana, Pradakvarmatma, that prana that moves in all directions, the cosmic prana. Sandehu Bahulo, the middle portion, is Akasha. Bastirevareihi, and Apaha is nothing but Mutasthana. Prithiveva Padu, Prithvi is Pada. Ureva Vedil Lomani Berhi Hridayam Gahapatyu Mano Anwahari Pachana Asya Ahavaniya. So Ahavaniya Agni is Mukham. So this is the way to meditate. So Ashwati told them, you should meditate in the entire cosmic person, which is the Adidevada, the transcendental, cosmic, all-pervading, samashti dimension of Vishwa. That is Vaishwanara. Kasmadevam yasmatasya vai pragadasya vayedasyatmana Vaishwanarasya murdhaiva sudeja chakshur vishwarupaka prana pradakvatmarma sandeko bahulo bastirevareyi prithiveva pado etc. This is the bhashya. What it means is, those who follow Vaishwanara Upasana, Vaishwanara Vidya, they should meditate upon the cosmic person as Sarvatma. And Durloka is Murdha, Aditya is Chakshu, Vayu is Prana, Akasha is Sharira, and Apaha is Mutrasya, Prithvi is Pada. Like that you should meditate. So just as we have different parts in a physical body system, so also of the cosmic person, you should meditate the whole existence as different parts of the universal self. That's the only way for you to meditate. If you meditate on anything exclusively as one small entity, avoiding or excluding everything else, then you will not get real result, and you may even get wrong results. So after getting this instruction, the sages, Jana, Indradyumna and others, they left. So this particular form of meditation came to be known as Vaishwanara Vidya, Vaishwanara Upasana. It's like Varuni Vidya, Varuna taught Bhruguvai Varuni Varunam Vidram Upasara. Like you find Bhuma Vidya in the Chandogya again. And there are all these Vidyas are there in different Upanishads. So this is one particular kind of Vidya. That is the subject referred to in this Chandogya quotation. So you can read Tada Sapta Angani, these are 7 Angas, Murtha, etc. Chakshu, then Sandeha, middle portion, Pada, Prana, etc. These are the 7 Angas, Saptangasya. So Vaishwanarasya Murdhaiva Sudejas Chakshur Vishwarupa Prana Prithak Varmatma, etc. This is Ashwabadi's instruction. Sandekho Bahulo, etc. So Vaishwanara Upasana is over. That's okay. Now, then last portion is Idi Agnihotra Huda Kalpana Sheshatvena. Now Agnihotra Kalpana is taken as a context. In the context of Agnihotra, Ahavaniyagni should be meditated upon as the Mukham, as the face of the cosmic universal self. So Vaishwanarasya Mukha is Ahavaniyagni, Pada is Prithvi, Akasha is the middle portion, Surya is, as we have 2 eyes, so also the cosmic dimension, all the jivas put together will have a eye, but that eye will be the transcendental universal eye. The universal eye is Chakshu, it's called Vishwarupa. So also Vayu. Vayu is the prana which moves in all directions. That is Vishwanara Nayati Iti Vishwanaraha Seva Vaishwanara. So I mean Vishwanara is just like Ishvara. Though remember, Ishvara comes only in the context of the Samashti dimension of Prajna here, and the Samashti dimension of Taijasa is Hiranyagarbha, the Samashti dimension of Vishwa is Vaishwanara. But Vaishwanara and Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara, there is also Abhedatvam between them. This will be made clear in the coming verses and mantras. So let us say Vishwanara can be considered to be the Sthula dimension of Ishvara as a cosmic person existing as the all-pervading reality. So just like the Vishwa, the Jiva has got different body parts, so also Vishwanara has got body parts. Vishwanara, Vaishwanara, see. So ityevam saptangani yasya sa saptangaka tatha ekona vimshati mukhani asya. So ekona vimshati mukhani. So it has got 19 dwarani, openings. Buddhindriyani, karmendriyani cha dasha, vayavascha pranadeha pancha, manobuddhya hangara chittamiti, mukhani va mukhani, etc. So the Bhashya itself explains what are these 19 mukhas, 19 openings of this Vaishwanara. So Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, then Pancha Pranas and Antakaranas, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. These 19 constitutes the 19 mukhas. So it will be further explained. Mukhani iva mukhani tani upalabdhi dwarani tyarthaka. Upalabdhi means knowledge and also the efforts, endeavors necessary for acquiring the knowledge. These 19 parts constitute are instruments for getting knowledge and also for getting the effort done for acquiring the knowledge. That's why Buddhindriya, the Jnanendriyas are the Karmendriyas are there, and Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. So Mana is Sankalpa Vikalpatmika Antakarana Buddhi, Buddhi is Nisyatmika Antakarana Buddhi, and Ahankara is the Aham Bodha, and Chittam is the repository of all memories, vasanas and samskaras. So all these constitute different instruments, different means for acquiring knowledge. And also they constitute the means for doing work for acquiring the knowledge. That's why it is called Upalabdhi Dwarani Ityarthaha. Sa evam visishto Vaishwanaraha yadhokta dwarehi shabdadi sthula vishayan bhukti. Now, this Vaishwanara, so at the cosmic level, at the Adi Devika level, is the Samashti, it is Samasta Sharira, and it is all pervading. It has got these Sapta Angani and also these 19 mukhas, Ekona Vimshati Mukhani. So at the Vyashti level, the Jiva also has got all these. So we should not get away with the impression, as I mentioned earlier. It is not the numerical totality. Samashti is not the numerical totality of Vyashti. Samashti is the essence of Vyashti. So just as the sun sees everything, but our eyes can see only a few things. The prana is all pervading, but the prana within our body is limited. The akasha is the middle portion of the body for the samashti, Vaishwanara, and our middle portion of the body has its own limitation. So it is not that all put together constitute samashti, but it means the samashti is the essential totality, not the numerical totality, is the essence of everything. That way the samashti has got all the qualities of Ishvara. Shabdadi Sthula Vishayan Bhukte iti Sthula Bhuk. Vishesham Naranam Anekatha Sukhadi Nayana Vishwanaraha Yadva Vishwachaso Narasyadi Vishwanaraha Vishwanareva Vaishwanaraha. It is just a definition of Vaishwanara which I already explained here. Samashti Bhava. Sarva Pindatma Ananyatvad. Sarva Pinda means Sharira. So this Samashti Vaishwanara is non-distinct and non-different from all these individual Vishwas. The essence of all these individual Vishwas is found in the Vaishwanara. So there is Ananyatvam. Sa Prathama Padaka. This is the first pada. Now the next statement says, why this Sthula dimension, Vishwa or Vaishwanara, is mentioned as at the very beginning of this text. So it says, Edat Purvagatva Uttarapadadhigamasya Abhigamasya. Means, Edat Purvagatva Uttaradivadat. Means, now you should remember, Srishti begins from Prajna through Taijasa, comes to Vishwa. Prajna is only Agrahanam, and from Prajna Taijasa comes is Anyadha Grahanam and Agrahanam, both are there. And then in the Vishwa state there is Anyadha Grahanam. So where does the Srishti begin? Srishti begins in Prajna. Because in Sushupti, nothing exists. From there, that is the beginning. From that nothingness, Taijasa comes. That is why the beginning of samsara is prajna. And by acquiring more and more sthulatvam or grossness, it comes down to Vishwa level, Jagrat level. So we have Srishti. Now from Srishti, we have to go back to the Karana dimension, that is Prajna. And then finally, we have to transcend Prajna also and reach Turiya. That is the purpose of the whole scope of Mandukya Upanishad. How do we do that? From the waking state, we slowly understand the mithyatvam, the transitoriness of all these entities at the waking state. And through Vijara, we should reject their reality. And how do we do this? From Vishwa, we should be able to reach Taijasa level. So Vishwa merges with Taijasa. The waking state experiences get cancelled in dream state. And dream state also gets cancelled in deep sleep state. So Vishwa emerges with Taijasa, and Vishwa and Taijasa merges with Prajna, and Vishwa, Taijasa and Prajna will merge with Turiya. That is how we reach the Samhara. Samhara means the effect going back to cause. Suppose we have got a lot of vessels made of pots, made of clay, number of pots and pans, vessels made of clay, let us say. We break them all to go back. Actually, we don't destroy them. What happens? We realize, we experience the non-difference between the Nama Rupa pots and pans of clay with the clay itself, which is devoid of Nama and Rupa. So also, through Vichara, we begin with Vishwa, waking state. In waking state alone, we can make spiritual efforts, spiritual sadhanas. So, sadhana sadhushtayam or sravana, manana, nidhyasana, shastra, padana, all these are possible only in Vishwa state. Actually, every day in deep sleep, we reach a state where there is no creation. But that is only an unconscious, automatic, effortless condition. That doesn't help us to get rid of avidya, kama and karma. So Bhashyakara will tell you later that every day we are experiencing our true nature. Every day we are getting an experience similar to experiencing our Turiya dimension. But it doesn't help us. Why? Because we come back to waking state and we come back to the same old world. So, in deep sleep or sushupti, we go beyond Dvaita. But that doesn't help us. The reason is, when we get back to our waking state, all the samskaras, vasanas, everything will come back. Because avidya, kama, karma. So we have to go beyond avidya, kama and karma. We have to get rid of avidya, kama, karma. And that is possible only by making efforts at the waking state, Vishwa state. So we have to begin with Vishwa. So that's the statement of Bhashyakara. Edat purvagatva uttarapadadhigamasya prathamyasya. What it means is, from Vishwa only we reach the next pada. We have to begin our spiritual journey only during waking state. Just by saying in Sushupti also we experience some kind of a spiritual union, that statement doesn't make any, it doesn't have any benefit, because when we get back to waking state, we are same the old person. You find Chandogya, Vyakrova, Mashukova, Simkhova, actually Simkhova, Vyakrova, you find the Uddalaga insects Aruni in deep sleep, in Sushupti state. We go beyond all this kind of samprasada experience comes, but that is not accompanied by awareness. Without awareness, that kind of experience doesn't have any benefit, because awareness alone can do vilaya, can help us go beyond avidya and kama and karma by acquiring sadhana sadhushtaya and vichara and savanama and anididhyasana. That is all possible only during waking state. So waking state is the first pada, is the door, is the beginning of samkhara. Samkhara here means going back to our real true nature. And that begins only with Vishwa state. That's why edat purvagatva uttarapadadhigamasya. This should come first, and from the next state comes. So Vishwa comes first. So that is the statement justifies why the Upanishad begins with a description of Bahishprajna or Jagrita Sthano, Bahishprajna, etc. That's the thing. Now here Purvapaksha comes, which is related to what I mentioned in the beginning. Katham ayamatma brahma iti pratyagatmanaha asya chaduspatve prakrite dvilogadina mudhadyangattam iti. Now, the Purvapakshin here raises an objection. Our whole purpose is, you find the ayamatma brahma, you find, see, for example, Bhashikara says, at the very beginning you find here, it is abhinayena nirdishyati ayamatma iti, the Bhashikara says elsewhere. The purpose of this Mahavakya itself is this. Say, Tacha Brahma Paroksha Bhidam Pratyakshado Visheshena Nirdishyati ayamatma Brahma iti ayamidi chaduspatena prayo, etc. So Pratyakshado Nirdishyati. The purpose of the entire Upanishad text is to give you a clear understanding of ayamatma Brahma, this Mahavakya. And that is related to Vishwa. A jiva goes on investigating to his nature. So a teacher comes and tells him, see, it is you yourself, Tattvamasi. And then he himself points a finger towards his own chest. Ayamatma Brahma. My true, my own self, that is Pratyakshado Nirdishyati. This my own self is Brahman. That is a Mahavakya. And that is in the context of Vishwa, the microcosm. Idi pratyagatmanaha asya chaduspatve prakriti. That is the context. So what is the context? The context is pratyakshado. Directly we are pointing of our own finger to ourselves. Ayamatma Brahma, my own self is the Atman. This is the statement. Now why do you discuss this Dhirogadina Murdhadyangattamiti? Then why do you bring in this cosmic dimension? Why this sudden reference to the cosmic dimension after pointing out Ayamatma Brahma, which happens only at the Vishwa, the individual microcosmic level. Only Vishwa, the Vyashti, at the microcosmic level only we make the point, I am Atma Brahma. Then why do you refer to this universal dimension, the Adi Devika dimension? So that's a Purvapaksha. So Bhashyakara says, Naisha Doshaka. There is no problem. Here, Sarvasya Prapanchasya Sadhi Devikasya Anena Atmana Tadushpatusya Vivakshitattuvad. So, there is always a connection, a relationship between the Adhyatmika dimension, the microcosmic dimension, and the Adidevika dimension, the macrocosmic dimension. So microcosm, macrocosm, these are all only approximations. May not be very appropriate to translate, but you have the problem of language when you explain the Sanskrit terms in English. So that's a problem. So Sarvasya Prapanchasya Sadhidevikasya Anena Atmana Tadushpatasya Vivakshitattuvad. Adhyatmika and Adidevika. Between them, there is a connection. There is not complete distinction. There is abhedatva. Therefore, this cannot be any kind of objection or a fault. So, here is the prakrama bhanga. That means vada. This is a prakrama bhanga means you are jumping from one to another subject, one subject to another subject, without a logical sequence. That is the charge from the Purvapakshin. So Bhashyakara says there is no prakrama bhanga here. Why? Because Sarvasya Prapanchasya Sadhidevikasya Anena Atmana, the same prajna is present in the in the Adhyatmika level and also Adidevika level. At the Vishwa level and Vaishwanara level, same prajna is present. It's called in a prajna bandha, means the connection in terms of the same prajna existing in Vishwa and also in Vaishwanara, in Adhyatmika and also in the Adidevika, in the micro as well as the macro level. Same prajna exists. And continues, Evam cha sati sarva prapanchopashame advaita siddhi. So I mentioned earlier, sarva prapanchopashame advaita siddhi. So you find the seventh mantra, Danta prakyam na bhuhi prakyam na ubhayada prakyam na prakyanaganam na prakyam na prakyam, etc. Adrishtram avyaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam avyapadeshyam ekatma pratyasaram Prapanchopashamam Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtham Manyante. So Shantam Prapanchopashamam Shantam Shivam. That is the reference here. Evam Chasati Sarva Prapanchopashame Advaita Siddhi. How does it happen? By rejecting. Rejecting means by going beyond Vishwa, Taijasa and Prajna. By going beyond waking state, dream state and deep sleep state. By going beyond Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. And also their macro dimension. By going beyond Vaishwanara, Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara. Only you will have this Advaita Siddhi. Why? Sarva Prapancha Upashame. Upashama here means going beyond. Is the preceding one merging with the succeeding one. That is, Vishwa Vaishwanara merge with Taijasa and Hiranyagarbha. And both will merge with Prajna and Ishvara. Ishvara is the samashti dimension of Prajna, Sushupti state. And finally, all these will merge with Tvidiya. That is Sarva Prapanchopashamam. This is the only way to experience Advaita Anubhuti. This is Advaita Siddhi. Sarvabhudascha Atma Eko Drashtasya Sarvabhudani cha Atmani Istu Sarvani Bhudani etc. Ityadi Sutyartha Upasamkritaschaivam Syat. So a number of Sudhi quotations are given in support of this. So this is actually, we are coming back to our own spiritual identity. We are traveled a long distance from our true nature, from Turiya state, backward and backward, through Susupti, then through Swapna, and then Jagrat. We are right now Jagrat state. So we have to begin our return journey, reverse evolution, so to speak. We have to begin our return journey from Jagrat state. So from Jagrat state, we should begin this Samkhara. Samkhara means going back to our real true nature. And the true nature is Turiya. So we have to reject one after the other by merging Vishwa or Jagrat state into Swapna, and Swapna into Susupti, and all three finally being transcended when we reach the Turiya state. So this is one particular section. This discussion subject comes to an end here. If you have got anything to ask, you can ask. We are free to ask. Otherwise, we'll have next session. Yeah. Thank you. So now we will do Shanti Mantra. Okay.
Shri Krishna Paramastu